Sì, 1, 2, 3, prova. Sì, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sì, prova. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sì, prova, prova, prova. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, prova. Sì, test, test, test. Prova 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Prova 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, prova, è arrivata la signora, prova, sì, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Parte con 60,10 punti negativi dopo le 2 prove. Now for Germany, your Huber, entertain you, x0.10 negative point after.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. We welcome you to leg 6 of the FEI Nations Cup series here in Vairano, Italy. This sun-baked park this afternoon. The first to start is on course. And we welcome Jörg Kerbel to the Nations Cup show jumping to decide the Vairano leg. Jörg starting on 60.1. He jumps out of order because he'll come with Brookfield the bouncer a little bit later. Comes down one stride through the double, comes up very easily. And Jörg with his other horse, Brookfield the bouncer, who won the Monte Libretti leg of the Nations Cup series here in Italy back in 2014. Coming down between the rustic oxer at 9, the curved line to that quite tall vertical at the top end of the school. And now comes the treble combination. Rattles in, clean out. Just the one mistake out on the courses. Jörg Kerbel comes home. Just the one mistake. And 4 jumping penalties is the result. The first out, he's an individual for the Germans. We have a mixture of team riders and also the individuals coming forward. And he's inside the time.
Attenzione, controllare il numero 1.
Jörg Kerbel adding 4. That is Nico Hauf's Entertain You, who finishes on 64.1 inside the show jumping optimum time. The time for the show jumping is 91 seconds this afternoon in Vairano. This gorgeous part of Lombardy. We're just south of Milan, north of the Ligurian coast and the port city of Genoa. Well, now we go to Pietro Sandai. Pietro was our trailblazer on the cross country yesterday. That was with his other horse, His team ride for the Italians, that's Rubis the Pre, we'll see a little bit later. And this is Instioge, Ohio. Just to put the team position into context, the Swiss team were lying in second place after the dressage with the Vogt brothers and Patrizia Attinger. They dropped into fourth after the cross-country yesterday on 191.4. In the bronze medal position is Italy. Pietro with his second ride will be part of that Italian quartet. The strong German team with some new stars on the block here in Vairano. They sit in the silver on 156.1, but out in front, the team that took the Olympic title in Rio de Janeiro. That is France, leading on 149.5. The individual position, we are jumping in reverse order of merit on the individual side of the rankings. And the overnight leader, Andreas Ostock, just powered round yesterday with Wolf-Dieter Eccles. Pennsylvania, 46.1 is the best score individually. Well, just the one mistake, but a good start for the charming young Italian. In the colours of the Italian Army, that's the Carabinieri. For jumping inside the time it is for Pietro Sandai. And that is Instioge, Ohio, completing on 59.9. Well, now we go to Susanna Bordoni. Giovanna Mazzocchi, our fantastic host here in Vairano. And we've had a lot of fun this week. There's been some pizza evenings, of course. And the hospitality has been so warm to many guests from all over the seas of the eventing circuit. This is the 8th running of the Vairano International Horse Trials. And on course, Susanna Bordoni with her mother, Giovanna Mazzocchi's Port Phillip Jones. This big grey loped around the cross-country yesterday. Susanna said that, in fact, he was almost a bit nonchalant being at home. But it was a good round to watch, just fluent and flowing. And now just coming around the back of the show jumping arena to come down to the rustic Oxford 9. This one, Ryan's just got to be careful. Well, I would call that one because it's rustic, the ground just browning slightly the grass. So just where the horse can just visualise the front bar. And Susanna, an incredible record. Her awesome mare Ava was an absolute superstar of yesteryear. Her ride in the Athens Olympics. And Port Phillip Jones coming home. Just one mistake this afternoon. And that is 122. We add the one for time as well. So 1-2-3 is the final score for the home base rider, Susanna Bordoni.
In campo ora, sempre per l'Italia, Francesco Ondio Bertero in sella O'Cayman. Parte con 103 punti negativi dopo le due prove. Sono 5 le penalità per il percorso di Port Phillip Jones, 4 gli ostacoli, una per aver superato il tempo massimo.
Well, what a week it's been here in Vairano, and what a month for world eventing. The Land Rover Burley Horse Trials was a classic mix-up, with Christopher Burton taking a title narrowly, just slithered ahead of Andrew Nicholson. One of the greats was second with Nereo. And Blenheim just last weekend was another superb affair with a great win for Bettina Hoy in the long format CCI3 start with her team prospect Senor Medicot. And on course, it is the very talented OK Man. This is the horse owned by Marco Aondio. In the saddle, Francesco Aondio Bertero. But that early mistake coming just slightly down the gradient into the double. Always with these arenas, little undulations and contours you're not always aware of on the TV screen. And just knocks the front bar out of the double. But OK, man. Now into the flow, comes down, running boldly into the related line, in and out of the double. That was a very positive ride. Well, a jumping and inside the time. So we had 8-4. OK, man. And the final score today is 1-1-1. That's easy to remember for the Italian combination. Well, one more individual before then we start the Nations Cup competition in earnest with the first of the team riders. After the next to go, we'll welcome in Ben Vogt, who will be the trailblazer this afternoon for the young Swiss team. Well, Primera runs down into that classic course designer's trap because the triple bar at 4 encourages riders into a forward-flowing rhythm. And then the upright is always the fence afterwards that can cause the problems. And Primera now just coming to this, again, related line. Nice even 6 strides in between the rustic vertical to Oxa. Two fences falling at this point. Oh, God, it's getting expensive here. Better an individual rider than a team member because hearts would be on the line. But 3 down it is. 12 jumping, but inside the time. That's looking to be a comfortable enough optimum time, but the pressure will increase as we go through the class. And you can just see riders just saying, okay, I want to be a little bit careful in the approach to the fences. But I wouldn't predict it's going to be a major player this afternoon, the time. And the final score for Andrea Cincinnati, adding the 12, is 113.9. But now, team standings become crucial because Switzerland's Ben Vogt, the Swiss have got to sadly play too big a game of catch-up. Starting on 191.4 down in 4th place. Was a shame yesterday after a superb performance in the dressage. But Ben Vogt, he's just 24 years old. And this is Bellany Castle. This young man won the gold medal of German equestrian sports. He was awarded that at home in Radolfzell back in April. And the legends of Michael Jung, Fritz Papa, And Ben Loiva welcomed Ben into the fold, and it was an emotional moment for this young guy. That early mistake, sadly, for Woody, as he's known at home. Really good round yesterday. After that one early mistake, he's carrying 4 at the moment. And this horse was campaigned by Ben's brother, Christian, at the Buccolo International back in 2012. Bellany Castle cruises home. What a superb performance Ben had in the Rio Olympics with his top horse Noe Devati. And that is interesting because if Ben can complete the Stregom European Championships next year in Poland, he will become the first horse Noe with Ben to complete every level of championships with the horse that's possible. That's juniors, young riders, the Worlds in Normandy, the Olympics in Rio, and if he takes part in Stregom, that is going to be a phenomenal record the young Swiss star sets. He finishes with 8 in the jumping, and the completion score for the Trailblazer for Switzerland is 91.5. On course now. This the Stunning Grey. The horse bred out of France, Self-Francais bred. Ooh, a lucky moment at 4, just really skated over the triple bar. And that is the indicator the horse is getting a little bit flat in his jump trajectory. And then the tail is completed with the sad dispatch of the vertical at 5, and problems now compiling for Sandra Leonard-Reif. This is where, as a rider, you've just got to keep ice cool. Sandra, the first of the Swiss individuals to ride this afternoon. One more to come individually for the Swiss, and that is Eveline Burdenmuller, will come in about 7 horses' time. Some lucky rattles out of the treble combination, but the back bar into the treble falling as well, in addition to that early mistake at 5, and that is 8 jumping, and also the 1 for time. So 9 it is. And that is 83.6, the completion score. So maybe the time set is going to prove more influential than we predicted, as we'll just start to see that fascinating pressure element. We don't like people to go through it, but it's an inevitable part of horse sport, with half a ton of muscle underneath our valiant jockeys.
Attenzione a controllare l'ostacolo 11.
In campo ora per l'Italia Costanza Mantici monta Desis Diamante.
Attenzione, Simone Sordi è atteso in giuria.
well on course, and a significant early mistake, sadly, just rather runs into the bottom of that vertical at fence number 2, right in front of the judges, and another fence falling. Has been wonderful to welcome Sue Baxter from Great Britain, fresh back from her president's role in the big Land Rover Burley Horse Trials. Eric Leby for France here, and Eric's been hot-footing it around the eventing circuit as well, having also been part of the Blenheim Grand Jury. And Luciano Cantini from Italy, the home member, will go next week to Italy's Montelibretti Young Rider and Junior Europeans. Well, sadly compiling a little bit of a cricket score with the 4 down is frustrating. It's 16 penalties in the final phase. Always disappointing. These horses have really battled out on the cross country yesterday.
Now next to go for Spain, Maria Pinedo riding Carrion Boncolin. Sono 16 le penalità per il percorso di Daisy Diamante.
Well, now we go to Maria Pinedo, and this young lady with a brilliant record, joined by her sister Christina here in Vairano. And Christina had a very good finish in the CCI3, so that's the long format 3-day, as opposed to this compressed, more modern format that the Nations Cup Series generally uses. But the exception is leg 9 in Buccolo, where the traditional long 3-star will be the format at the Dutch Classic the second weekend in October to decide where the Nations Cup goes for 2016. At the moment, it's Great Britain out in front. Every Nations Cup victory secures 100 points for the winners. They started back in Fontainebleau in March. Houghton Hall, part of the series. The lovely Norfolk venue. Aachen, the German mecca of horse sports. Has been a wonderful season, and as I say, Britain holding off the challenge from Germany at the moment, but they'll finish big, you can guarantee, at Buccolo. Just the one mistake at this point for Karim Van Colo Z. Oh, shame actually, because this one of the Zangaseda bred jumpers. 2 fences falling, 8 jumping is the final score. And we add 8 for Maria Pinedo, as we say, individually represented for Spain, and the final score is going to be 75.6.
Maria Pinedo and Karim Van Colen.
On course now, one of the great new emerging stars on the world scene. It is Elmo Yankari. Rode in his debut Olympics. It won't be the last, I can assure you, for this determined man. He'll be eyeing up a place in Tokyo for the Finnish team. And he went very nicely to finish with Duchess Desiree, but getting into a little bit of trouble today, and it's a surprise with Soraya, because normally this Lovely Dark Bay is a good jumper. And frustrating for Elmo because his Olympic ride Duchess Desiree not traditionally the best jumper. But don't worry, this guy's got some nice horses in the wings at his home near Vairano. Relocated with Sana Siltakorpi from his Finnish home. But this is disappointing for Elmo. It really is. Coming home with the 3 fences down. 12 jumping it is for Elmo Yankari. And the final score is going to be 79.5. If you're new to eventing sports, the team formats, 4 riders in each team permissible, and you can also drop a score. And that means you can compete with 3. So we're just waiting for the next emerging star that I'm sure Sana and Elmo are training. I was lucky to be in Hovdala, the new international horse trials in Sweden, about 5-6 weeks ago. And certainly there was some real talent on the gorgeous Hovdala cross-country course for Finland. And I would not be surprised if a seniors team is soon assembled for the riders from the very tough conditions. They have to actually gallop on the roads in Finland in the winter. They wait for the snowplow to clear the track, so it's a harder surface with studs for the horses, and not easy. In fact, downright difficult to get the horses fit for 3-day eventing. Well, now a horse which has certainly caught the eye here this week. It's Quilando Z on course. And this is the first for the Italian team. The home side in 3rd position as we stand on 151.6. And now Rebecca coming around to the related line here. This is a superb athlete. Not a tall horse, but you can just see how compact he is and neat with his undercarriage. Well, the Red Ox are into the treble. Sadly, the downfall. I think you've just got to set up for that combination, perhaps a little bit more decisively off the corner. I think by that stage the horses are getting a little bit weary. Unless you're very clear with your aids as a rider, you could just run into problems, either in or out, I would assess, of the treble combination. It was 2 mistakes, so adding 8 in this final phase. Every pole that hits the deck is 4 penalties. And every second over the time will add 1 as well for time. And that means that Rebecca Chiappero will finish on 72.4. And that is a score we make a note of because part of the Italian Nations Cup team. On course now, a very experienced campaigner for Italy. We welcome to the Nations Cup fray. It is the turn of Marco Biasia. This is the Trebarwith Syndicate and Chloe Newton's Trebarwith. The score we give you coming to the show jumping is the combined score of the dressage on day 1 of this eventing triathlon. And it's a 2-phase score we give you after the cross country yesterday. And this horse looking technically very good as he comes down to the treble. Had a little rub in, but it stays put obligingly. Coming to the last fence, Marco Biasia comes home. Good round Just one mistake for the 4 penalties. And again, inside the time.
Arianna Guidarelli ora in campo monta Seabiscuit, parte con 63-20 punti negativi dopo le 2 prove. 4 le penalità per il percorso di Trebarwith.
Well, as we get through the starters, we are, of course, going to have the Nations Cup decided, because the team riders, the selectors pulling out the lottery tickets for the Nations Cup. So the stronger combinations loaded towards the back end of the draw. And on course now, it is Arianna Guidarelli. This is Maria Grazia Piva's EHC Biscuit. This combination starting in 18th place after the cross-country, 63.2, but not a casual mistake down the line. Quite a wide oxer. Perhaps the horse a little bit dazzled by the sun, which is just popping out behind the clouds here in Vairano, because has got the jump for the back bar, but just perhaps a little bit dazzled. Just coming around the corner to run down into the treble, in well and out. Got a little bit flat, I think, just came in very powerfully over the red oxer. I think riders are just going to have to compress the horses a little bit more. Sort of bouncing ball concept on the approach. You've got to have the energy, but you've got to come in a fairly collected frame.
Riding FEI Gina K. Le penalità per il percorso di Arianna Guidarelli e Seabiscuit.
The next to start, a man who I think stamped his mark on eventing yesterday, because he jumped such a convincing, cool round under pressure. Put his foot down when he needed to out on the course, but we just saw the back end of the course gave this lovely mare FBW Gina K some time as well. By far his top horse, owned by Martin Crook. And they start on 61.4, 17th place after the cross-country test. Falk based down between Stuttgart and Ulm, just to the north of the Alps, that protects, or should protect, Vairano in Italy from the German surge. But wonderful to have so many top riders here for the nation that has been so dominant in world eventing. The British team took the world title in 2010, but ever since then it's been a German landslide. The Lamoulan Europeans, double gold for Michael Jung and his team. London 2012, the same results. Malmo again. It's gone on and on. And Falk is jumping a good round here. That is what I mean by the compression. Just there, you saw it. Just said to Gina, come back, hang on, girl, don't rush into this fence. And that is a super round. Falk Vestrich shows us how to jump the course from start to finish. Inside the time, as I say, this man is going to come of age. I saw him riding in Marbach about 6-7 years ago, and I thought, yeah, let's watch out. And a super clear for Falk Vestrich. 61.4. And a great round that is for Germany, because at the moment he is the drop score, and that of course just takes the pressure off the three to come.
And now for Germany, Jörg Kurber.
And Germany would love to play catch up, leading into Waregem, our penultimate leg for you next week in Belgium, and then going into the final at the Great Military Boekelo Horse Trials. That's on the east side of Holland, just outside the town of Enschede. But back-to-back combinations come in for Germany, because now Jörg Kerbel sets off. And let's all hope this horse lives up to his name, because it is Brookfield the Bouncer. Comes very positively down the line, 4 and 5. That was a gutsy ride. Always helpful if you can just let the horse flow in his natural rhythm, not adjust too much as a rider. If you watch Michael Junger, just see barely any adjustments that Michael will make. The partnership is so strong. Just let the horse do what he does out of instinct, which is run and jump out of a rhythm. And Jörg Kerbel is really riding beautifully here. Comes down to the treble combination. This horse, who won the Monte Libretti Nations Cup 2 years ago. Oh, this is super. Well, Falk Vestrick and Jörg Kerbel are putting Germany into a very strong position. Great round completed. And the German whistles tell the tale. It's a double clear for Jörg Kerbel. Things are warming up here in Vairano.
Evelyn Bodemüller riding Waldmann. Clear round for Brookfield the Bouncer.
It is 6.6, the penalty gap between Germany and France. And Germany already have got 2 clears in the bag. So France with the luxury of 1 fence in hand coming into this decisive show jumping. And the Olympic champions, newly crowned in Rio, of course, are going to be on a real high. And Michel Asseray and Thierry Touzat both here in Italy to charge on their young quartet, as it was in Rio, with Astier Nicolas taking that brilliant silver. Just jumping for Switzerland. It's the school teacher, combines teaching children with autism and learning difficulties with her eventing career. And this is the lovely Grey Waldman. Evelyn Bodemüller coming to the last fence with Waldman. He's had a busy season, but very fresh at the back end of the 2016 eventing roadshow. And that is just 2 mistakes. The horse was great across country yesterday, and 8 we had. And the final score for Evelyn is going to be 66.4, the completion score, but as an individual, as we go in reverse order. But now we start to get into the interesting zone, because this lady, who has an incredible record, I think becoming the modern era of Finnish eventing's version of the great Pia Pantsu. And Pia, who herself took second in the Mitsubishi Motors Babington Horse Trials. I wouldn't like to hazard a guess as to the date, But it was Ipaja Caruso who she took famously into second place, and that was the real defining moment for the Finnish team. And now, of course, this is the lovely Bofi Bridge. Sanna Siltakorpi just tracking back to this very vertical hanging gate with the rail on top. Competed in the Europeans in Fontainebleau, was 20th at the French Championships of 2009, the Europeans. Also went to Le Moulin and Malmo with Lucky Accord. But two very nice horses in Bofi Bridge and Bofi Click. Well, certainly amazing how the emotional wave can surge through the eventing partnerships. And I would just imagine Sanna would have been a little bit rattled by poor Elmo's frustrating round. And not quite her normal style. Looked a little bit more hectic than normal to me. That's an eagle eye from the commentary point of view. Just the one mistake. That is the 4 jumping. This lady's so good. I wasn't being critical, but she had a great round across country yesterday. It was a masterclass of riding safely at speed. Came out of the water and was in such a strong position with her body in the back seat, just behind the vertical. That horse could add a stride out of the water, chipped in, as we say, and still could come home with a very quick round. The final score for Sanna is going to be 61.8. Well, now we go to Switzerland, and they would love to discard, in fact, they can't discard, my apologies, the score of Ben Vogue, because they had the unusual retirement before the cross-country yesterday of Jennifer Eicher with Oconas de la Blancherie. And so they have to all count, and that is the disadvantage of losing one of your quartets. And of course, this is Patricia Attinger. Became a doctor literally in the last few weeks, handed in her legal thesis. So this is a true legal eagle. And this is her successor to her lovely former junior and young rider, and indeed World Games ride in 2014. That was Ramalfa. And this is the nice horse Hilton P. Hilton P is jumping a very nice round, not known in the sport as being the best show jumper, but this is a really good demonstration so far. Coming down to the treble. Frustrating in the middle part as well. So a costly final line for Patricia. And that is really frustrating for this young Swiss quartet with the Vogue brothers. Patricia and, of course, the lady who sadly pulled up yesterday. That was Jennifer Eicher. $16 jumping and 2 time. We have to add 18 to the score.
Al via ora Evelina Bertoli per l'Italia, monta Chidam del Duero. 18 points of penalties for Hilton P, 16 for fence, and plus 2 for time.
18 jumping and also the 2 for time.
Time for Hilton P, 92.
Sorry, 16 jumping and the 2 for time was 18. So we have a final score for Patricia Attinger and Hilton P is going to B75.8. But now, of course, we start to get really tuned into the show jumping because it is the turn of Italy's Evelina Bertoli. This lovely South Francais bred Quidam del Duero. This was owned by Campello Argenta. And they start in 11th place individually, and 57.1 is the start score. Well, a little bit of a tip-tap round so far, but still going very nicely here. Just coming down the rustic curve left-handed line, and this is a very bold performance because you can see the high tempo. The time not tight, but this is showing the determination of Evelina. He is very quick-heeled and clean with his legs because she came at the gallop to the treble. Oh, very good round that is for Italy. Superb from the South Francais Quidam del Duero. And of course, inside the time, they finish on 67.8.
Now for France, Raphael Cochet riding Sherazade de Louvière.
We go into the top 10 because Pietro Sandai jumped out of order a little bit earlier with Instioge, Ohio. And this now the turn of Raphael Cochet. The French were so impressive yesterday. Their all-boy team will now start to charge because they've got to respond. Germany with the 2 clears. They are becoming an incredible team in the show jumping. We saw that trend starting at the Le Moulin Europeans of 2011, where all the French team jumped clear. And this is the lovely grey Sherazade de Louvière, South Francais bred. And that, of course, harks to Sandra Offart's great world title she took in 2014 with Opgun Luvo. Arguably one of the best eventing horses of all time. I was lucky to claim Sandra as an ex-girlfriend, and it was lovely to ride Opgun Luvo. Such a sensitive, intelligent horse. I think that is the real hallmark of the South Francais. They've got the thoroughbred in their breeding lines, but they're very sensitive, intelligent horses. And Sherazade de Louvière coming down to the treble, in and out. This is a great performance. It really is to set off the French charge here. He comes down to the last fence. And yes, that's a super clear round. He's inside the time and clear jumping. Raphael Cochet completing with Sherazade de Louvière. And that is a brilliant start for the French team. The new Olympic champions continuing this purple run for France. I should say blue, white and red, really. And that is a super round just completed.
Now starting. Clear round for Sherazade de Louvière.
Just a reminder of the position. Germany with the 2 clears. The one for their discard score at the moment, that was Falk Vesterich with FBW Gina K. And also the great clear for Jörg Kerbel and Brookfield to Bouncer. So this is turning into another big battle, as it was in the Olympics between France and Germany. It was amazing in Rio, with a very disappointing day for Germany on the cross country. They really remedied it in the show jumping to finish about 3 penalties. That was it behind the French to retain the silver after the disappointments of Pierre Michelet's cross-country course was a real accolade for the German riders. On course, it is 23-year-old Felix Etzel. And this is a horse he actually home produced. It's the 8-year-old Bandit coming to the last fence, and that is a great round again. The little Bandit was 3 seconds over time yesterday. It was a great round. And this afternoon he adds just the 1 mistake for 4 faults. But that is a cracking new combination for Germany. Such a small horse. He probably only about 15.2 hands on the height measurements. And Felix Etzel adding 4 with Bandit, and the final score is going to be 55.6. Well, that certainly just takes the pressure off France a little bit further, because now 2 fences is their leeway. On course now, this is Rémi Pilot, the lovely Chic du Levant, lying 7th after dressage. Just the score just under the 70% barrier. That was 68.2. 70% is always a nice average to get above. It means the judges were really quite impressed. 10 the highest mark, but it's a bit like trying to paint a Picasso to really tickle the judges' fancies. Not an easy mark to give. Well, 1 fence falling out of the treble combination. Coming down to the in and out. Oi, oi, oi. That was ropey. That was really dicey from the Frenchman. Things got a little bit out of kilter at the end, and he's done well to survive in this show jumping, because, oof, that was a bit of a miss, we say, in eventing. Amazing, really, to think that was just the 1 mistake out of the treble line down the hill, and oi, a bit of an Irish hunting moment where you're hoping to find the 5th leg. And I tell you, that horse certainly found it. And to come out of that deep spot without hitting either part of the combination out of the treble, the score is just 4 to add. On course, we welcome, in 6th position, he is an individual for Italy, sadly. I could have used his score. I'll just give the selectors a little tune-up, give them something to think about before they make their choices. Going into Waregem in Belgium next week, and then Buccolo. Roberto Rotatori is on the course. And this is the lovely Irish bred Castle Richmond SRS. The horse owned by Alessia Galateri de Genola. And 50.8 the start score. And as an individual, just to put that in context of the leader, Roberto is 4.2 penalties in arrears, so that is just how tight the top of this individual leaderboard is as well, with the individual competition running alongside the main focus, the FEI Nations Cup leg. The back bar sadly goes into the treble, got a little bit lucky out of the last fence as well.
Now for Veteran Felix both riding Cleveland. 4 le penalità per il
The isolated mistake coming. Otherwise a good round, so it's going to be 4 to add for Roberto Rotatori for Italy. And the completion score is 54.8. But now we go to the 2012 World Cup champion, part of the Rio Olympics with his brother Ben. Sadly, Felix didn't complete in Rio with his lovely hand-in-glove side galloping machine on fire. Felix had a very good horse here a little bit earlier. That was Calero. And that is a real prospect for this man's talents as we look into the next run of championships. Felix base with Dirk Schrader. His base in the centre of Germany, just outside Dortmund. That's the rather wind-exposed yard of Dirk. That's in Spruchhovel. But a very good man to learn from. Has been the jumping linchpin for many teams for Germany, including those Malmo Europeans with the great hop and skip. But Felix having a little bit of a frustrating round, it must be said. Coming with 2 down to the Pink Ox to round out with Cleveland. He is going to add just the 2 mistakes. But a bit of a frustrating finish for this Swiss team. Had started so brightly on day one. They are actually very much down the rankings in the FEI Nations Cup team standings. And catch up with 2 legs remaining was never a likelihood. But still disappointing for the Swiss team.
8 penalties for Cleveland.
The final score 58.1. But now we go to Pietro Sandai, the trailblazer on Captain Mark Phillips' cross-country yesterday. And what a trail he blazed, because just 5 seconds over the time with this horse. It is the lovely Rubis de Prère. Again, the South Francais bred horse that he owns himself. Down the line into the vertical. That was a bit of a casual mistake from the horse, I think. Just didn't really snap up the front legs. Sometimes horses will wear a stud guard because they can really tuck their front end up under their tummies. Pietro coming off the turn. We're looking for a good shot into the treble. He gets it. Had a little lucky escape over the red oxer. But as we say in golf, it's not how, it's how many in eventing, particularly with the 3 disciplines, the cumulative challenge. 1 fence falling, and 4 it is. He's inside the time. So just the 4 to add for young Pietro Sandai, a charming guy. And he'll finish on 53.6. We'll do the tally for you. But I can tell you that Italy pretty much guaranteed the bronze medal here in Vairano. The real tussle now is for the gold and silver, and it's all going to emerge in the next 3 to start. Because we've got 2 for Germany, 2 for France, and 1 for Germany to complete. And on course now, we welcome Nicolas Mabir is on the track. And this is the lovely Tourmaline du Fief. This very rangy type of a horse. He's leggy, athletic, and a real eye-catching performance out on Captain Mark Phillips's Vairano track yesterday. Well, that was a real frustration. You could just see the horse stood too far off the oxer into the related line, down to the double, and he just lost concentration. And that is 4 faults for the refusal. And also now time comes into play directly. So things are now getting fascinating because, that's 8 faults on the card. 12. Germany will be licking their lips at the moment. It's going to be an absolute thriller of a finale as Nicolas Mabir comes home. It's a very tough completion. Just waiting for confirmation of the score for you. Well, 8 jumping and 8 time. It is a total of 16 just completed for Nicolas Mabir.
16 total penalties for Tourmaline du Fief, 8 for fence, plus 8 for time, 98.92 time.
So, it's expensive for France. That will become, hopefully, the discards to score. Because 65.3 it was for Nicolas Mabir, as now we go to the anchorman for France. It is François Lemierre on the track. And this is, again, the Saint-Français. No surprises. Just go to some of the lovely breeders in France. And it's Augustin du Terroir who comes down the line that caused the demise of poor Nicolas Mabir. But no mistakes for François. Just coming around the turn to set himself hopefully smoothly through, because otherwise we're going to have to really check the maths with Italy. Could claim the silver if anything goes significantly wrong here. François coming in and out of the treble. He's still clear as he turns into the final fence. It's a good effort for France to make things okay. And what that means is that because they could drop the score of Nicolas Mabir, Tourmaline du Fier score is away. Inside the time, François Lemierre and Augustin du Terroir, they had one fence in hand which they used with their second out, Rémi Pilot with Tol Chic du Levant. So that does mean, with the fence already in hand, that France are not only the new Olympic champions, but they take the Vairano leg of the FEI Nations Cup Series as well. Congratulations to Michel Asseret and Thierry Touzin, and to the 4 riders and 4 horses that win the gold for France. Germany now on course. 58.4 for Jörg Kerbel. And 1 mistake for Felix Etzel, so that was the 4 to add. So their score at the moment is 160.1. And now we wait for the score for the man on course, Andreas Ostholz, the very final competitor this afternoon with Dr. Wolf-Dieter Eccles, Pennsylvania. This was such a round to watch on the cross-country yesterday, and Andreas coming powerfully down to 9. He now comes into the blue-white vertical. Pennsylvania coming down to the treble here, in and out. It's a great captain's anchorman ride from Andreas Ostholz. Just the last to go, and he gets it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of the Vairano leg of the Nations Cup Series. And it is a superb win for France. The winning tally for Raphael Cochet, Rémi Pilot, Nicolas Mabir and François Lemierre is 153.5. They win ahead of Germany, the most dominant nation in world eventing since 2010. They were pretty good before then as well. Echoing the greats, Ingrid Klimke took the Europeans herself, and Germany winning the silver on 160.1, and the home nation fittingly taking the bronze medal here in Vairano on 170.8. And individually, we see a win for Andreas Ostholz with Pennsylvania. 46.1 is the winning score. And second is François Lemierre. He was clear with the lovely South Francais Augustin du Terroir, and that is 48.9. And the man that will certainly be poised is Pietro Sandai. The Italian is third with Ruby de Preur. Just the 1 mistake in the final show jumping to round out the top 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is goodbye from myself, Ed Holloway, in Vairano. We will look forward to welcoming you next week to the Wagen penultimate leg of the Nations Cup Series for 2016.
è caduto un cappello? È caduto? Anche questo? Basta. Non buttare più niente.
The final results of the CIC 3-star Nations Cup. The individual at the first place, Andreas also, Pennsylvania. Second place for François Lemière, Augustin de Tourard. Third place, Pietro Sandei, Ruby de Prère. Fourth, Raphaël Cochet, Sherazade de Louvière. Fifth place for Roberto Rotatori, Castle Richmond. Sixth place for Rémi Pillot, Township du Levant. Seventh place for Felix Etzel, Bandit. Eighth place, Evelina Bertoli, Quidam del Duero. Ninth place for Felix Fogg on Cleveland. 10th place for Jörg Kurber, Brooksfield the Bouncer. For the team standings, first is France. Second team Germany. Third team Italy. And fourth team Switzerland.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming close to the prize giving. We will be doing the Team Nations Cup competition first here in Vairano, and then we will go to the individual top 10 of our Nations Cup individual leaderboard. And the team competition will be kicking off the prize giving in 5 minutes' time. So if we can ask our teams to get the decoration sorted, the lovely white rugs on the horses, and we'll look forward to welcoming back the top 3 teams for leg number 7 of the 2016 FEI Nations Cup Series. Just a reminder, please, for the grooms of all of the horses, we will please need. Because the podium will be mounted by our winning Nations Cups team here in Vairano. So grooms or a supporter, please. For every horse, please come in with your lucky horses.
Something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we come now to the prize giving for leg of the FEI Nations Cup Series for 2016. I'd like to welcome into the arena the team that win the bronze medal here at home in Vairano. Please, Italy, come forward. The team led in by their trailblazer, Pietro Sandai, Ruby Depre. Alongside Pietro, we welcome Evelina Bertoli, Quidan del Duero. Marco Biascia, one of the greats of all time, comes in with Trapano. And the new star of the Italians, Rebecca Chiappero with Quilando set. Please welcome in now the team that take the silver medal. Please welcome Germany. The German team comprised of making his Nations Cup debut, Felix Etzel and home-produced bandits. Mark Vesprick was so impressive. Falk with FBW Zunic, he won't forget his weekend. Jörg Kerbel was a crucial clear for the German team today, and their anchor man, no better man to anchor Germany. Here in my right, that is Andreas Ostholz and Pennsylvania. And as they assemble, we welcome the Olympic champions, France. Their quartet, they take the title eventually by literally 1.1 penalties. But France slide ahead of Germany as they did in the Olympics in Rio. That's Raphaël Cochet, Sherazade de Louvière, Rémi Pilot, Tolchik de Levant, Nicolas Mabir, Tourmaline Dufieff, and François Lemière and Augustin du Terroir. Congratulations, the gold medal winning French team. If I could please ask the riders if you guys could all dismount your horses. C'est possible sauter
Qual è il soggetto?
le cheval.
Tutto perché anche dove che sta, come sta rispetto alla...
Just hang on a minute, guys. No, hang on, France, hello. Guys, just hang on a second. Just hang on a minute, okay? You can jump in a second. If I could please welcome up Italy to the bronze medal podium. Pietro Sandai come forward. Evelina Bertoli, Marco Biascia and Rebecca Chiappero. And taking the silver medal here in Vairano. Please welcome the German team come forward. Jörg Kerbel, Felix Etzel, Andreas Ostholz, and the new kid on a big block, Falk Vesprick. But now I expect a big jump up, France. The new gold medal winners of leg 7. Sautez, s'il vous plaît. France, come on! If we could all please welcome in the national anthem of France. Congratulations to France. They're getting very good at exploiting tiny windows to win over Germany. And now I'd like to introduce the Vice President of the Italian Equestrian Federation and our wonderful host here in Vairano. Please welcome Giovanna Mazzocchi to present the FEI Silver Platter to the winning nation. Well, good handshakes for Raphael Gaucher, Remy Pilon, Nicolas Mabir and François Lemierre with their team of Self Francais horses. And if I can now please ask the ground jury to go forward and congratulate the winning nations, Sue Baxter from Great Britain, Luciano for Italy and Eric Liebing for France. Congratulating Germany on a great silver medal here in Vairano. And particular congratulations going to France. So riders, once you've saluted your teammates, please jump back on the horses. It's lap of honour time to round out the team prize giving. Well, if I could please ask the photographers in a moment, just to give a moment, because we'll do the lap of honour first and then more photography opportunities. Well, just waiting for the German pose to relax, and then we'll kick off with the lap of honour, please, guys. France, allez, 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 les bleus, come on, allez, les bleus. Off you go, guys, once you've got a clear passage. Line out, photographers, please. Away go, France. Off goes Vairano Cochet. Nicola Nicola Bonsoir Demier, the Vairano Nations Cup champions. It's Germany taking the silver, just 1.1 ahead of the German team, and Italy at home taking the bronze medal. Congratulations to all of our three teams. C'est un petit peu ennuyeux. Come on, guys. You can't get victory. Yeah, oh no. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. So Germany and Italy just hold on a second, and we'll let France just have a lap of honour on their own. So once again, please salute the Vairano Nations Cup champions, the gold medal winners, as in Rio de Janeiro. France take leg 7 of the FEI Nations Cup Series. Congratulations. We say a big thank you to the technical officials here, the grand jury overseeing the entire competition. We thank Sue Banks, Eric Levy, Luciano Cantini for Italy. We thank very much our grand jury and our technical delegate Gillian Kyle for their hard work as a group this week. And particularly to our presidents, Giovanna Mazzocchi, for a wonderful leg. And of course, the individual giving is still to follow. I'll just remind the 10 we will please require back for the individual prize giving. We will need Jacobo, Brookfield the bouncer, Felix Vogue, Evelina Bertoli, Felix Etzel, and of course all of the French riders. In addition, Roberto Rottatori, Pietro Sandai, and he won't be missing it, Andreas Ostolz. come to the individual prize giving. And they come in the top 10. We welcome forward the Vairano Nations Cup individual champion. Andreas Ossolds comes forward, another strong performance. We've got the Wolf-Peter Eccles, a powerful performer, Pennsylvania. Second, so good in the show jumping, as he's been all week. Oscar Lumiere for France. Pietro Sandai comes in next. The rest for the Italians. Essentially the double bronze medal. Third place individually in addition. Then comes the stunning grey, Raphael Cochet, Sherazade Louvière. Followed by one of the great names of Italian eventing, indeed the world circuits, Roberto Rottatore, Castle Richmond SRS. And then Remy Pilot, Felix Etzel, Evelina Fazzoli, Felix Vogt, and Jörg Kerbel to round out a very interesting top 10, both in terms of riding quality and new horses to the top level of the international three-star circuits. We go to the top 10. We'll go in reverse order. And our grand jury panel will go forward to congratulate Jörg Kerbel on the side. Is Jörg on the lovely grey. Brookfield the bouncer coming in 10th place, 58.4 guys. The score for 10th. And certainly a very happy hunting ground for Jörg, Italy, with that Montelibretti Nations Cup individual victory 2 years ago with this horse. In 9th place, congratulations to Felix Vogt and Cleveland the third. Also owned by Stephanie Hoffman and Elvira Kussel. 58.1. Well, they have 3 in the top 8. The team to take the bronze medal in the Nations Cup, it is Evelina Bertoli, Quidam del Duero. 8th position, 57.1. And the man in 7th, I want a special round of applause because his first nation 3 years old. A great performance. It's Felix Etzel and Bandit for Germany in 7th place. In 6th place, and part of the French gold medal winning performance, it's Remy Pilot. 55.3, literally 9 penalties back of the winning tally. In 5th place, and what a record this man's got. He's got another serious horse in Castle Richmond SRS. Please salute Roberto Rottatore, 54.8. Well, the South Francais flag has been flown very high in Vairano. And no more attractive horse here than the stunning grey for Raphael Cochet in 4th place. It is Sherazade de Louvière. Félicitations. The performance 54.8. In addition to the gold medal, 4th place individually. but now the top three. And this is a man who impresses me with his composure, his soft manner with the horses, but he's still blistering against the clock, as we saw yesterday. In third place, Pietro Sandai. It is. The reserve individual champion was stunning to jump a cool clear under serious pressure from Germany. It is François Lumiere with Augustin du Terroir. A brilliant performance. 48.9 in second. But it is the German powerhouse. It is Captain Andreas also taking Vairano by storm with Pennsylvania. A wonderful week for Andreas, crowned by being the Nations Cup individual champion with Dr. Wolf Dieter Eccles, stunning man, Pennsylvania. Well, if we could all please stand for the national anthem of Germany. Well, it's certainly been a fantastic week for all of us here. My first time in Vairano, and it's a wonderful experience. And I'd just like to ask Andreas, as the leading rider here, just to make a few words about his week in Vairano.
Thanks, Zach. I'm glad to be allowed to say some words here. For sure, I want to say big thanks to Corona and the whole hosting family and all the staff who were supporting to make such a great event here. It was really lovely to be here. Everything was well and perfect organized. The one and only thing was not so nice, it's far too half a far away from my home yard. Otherwise I would be more often here. But yeah, thanks a lot for a great weekend.
Thank you very much, Andreas. I know, and a sentiment I've heard echoed a lot, that this is a fantastic competition, and we thank. Can I have a big round of applause, please, for Giovanna Mazzocchi for a wonderful competition. Thank you very, very much. So, one more matter remaining. I better get out of range, otherwise Andreas will be all over my tail. Lap of honour, please take it away, Andreas. Oh, sorry, more prizes. Just lost the flow a minute. If we could ask, please, 10th place to come forward. Luciano Cantini will go and present Jörg Goebbels with the stud box. 9th place, please come and claim your wonderful mobile. 8th place, Evelina. Please come forward to collect your stud container. No, that's a... Yeah, no, you're right, Sue. It's you could put studs in it as well, but yeah, bandages and boots is... And the ice boots to go to an ice cool performance from Felix Etzel and Bandits. And also the portable saddle rack to go forward to Remy Pilot for France. And now the steps to go forward to Roberto Raffatori with Castle Richmond SRS. Not quite sure how he's going to handle this one. I think he can dismount the horse so you could jump on it. Or she could carry you away around the lap of honour. And Raphael Cochet to receive the mobiliser. That's Raphael's going to get a prize there, the lovely mobile rack. And second place, please come forward. Augustin du Terroir, second, to receive the black equipment case. And Andreas, also please come forward. Or maybe we'll hang on, please come forward and salute your lovely multi-purpose muck carts. For the Luciano Pavarotti to celebrate the win, why not? Oh, sorry, Pietro. We've muddled it up. Well, I don't know. Who wants the jollies, guys, or the muck thing? What would you rather? Take the joppers and run. Andreas is probably so, yeah. Who's not here, a very funky pair of camouflage joggers. And Andreas, this is your winning prize. It seems a bit upside down to me, but you set the bottom of the pile to get the, but it's fine. And Andreas, come back, please. Circle round, because also the best cross-country prize. No? Not for you? Giovanna's the boss, he said so. No? Okay. Andreas, you win the best cross-country prize. Well, who was the closest near the optimum time, guys? A Frenchman? We'll go stand to tell come forward once I learn the air. He was on a roll, you see, he just thought he'd sneak that one through. If he didn't, he said, no. It was a great round with Augustin du Terroir. Came home full of running as well. Okay. Lap of honour music, please. Andreas Ostol. Let's have a clear passage here. Just take a big loop, Andreas. Or you could jump the photographers, take him on. Come on, it's just a line. Away goes the winner, please, guys. Let's raise the tempo for Andreas Ostol, the winner. With Pennsylvania, François Lumière, Pietro Sandar. Water to wine in Vairano. We've got tens of thousands of us. Awesome. That's where this competition should go on the big scale. Well done to Andreas Ostolz. Keep on hacking. Let's hear it for France. Who's behind France? Italy, anybody? Any Italians here? Felix Etzel coming in seventh with Bandit. Oops, oh, hang on a minute. Bandit, slow down. Run job. He's fleeing the scene of the crime. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of the Vairano International Horse Drama for 2016. Congratulations to our top 10. Have a safe journey home, and thank you very much for everybody coming. We'll see you next year in 2017. Goodbye and good night.